the door and it keeps going. It starts up when you open the door.
This old microwave is worth fixing. In under an hour and for under $10, we can get it going again. Often it costs $10 just to dispose of these microwaves.
Okay, if it has these pesky security screws and you don't have the screwdriver for them, a lot of times you can turn them out with a small channel lock pliers like this. And then I'll replace these with standard screws. Okay, so there's 3 switches in here. You can see this one right here, little red. It's activated by this lever. Another one here. And there's also one up higher here. It operates right up here. Okay, here you can see this upper lever being upper switch being actuated by the upper lever on the door. And there's the part numbers. They're all 3 the same. Okay, for safety, put a jumper here across the high voltage capacitor. And now with our meter set to measure resistance, got it on ohms, we're going to operate these switches and figure out which ones are acting up. Down here on the bottom, I'm just slipping it onto the switch contacts with the switch in. Okay, be able to see the switch is measuring closed, the door is shut. Open, the switch is open. Shut, close, open, door open, switch open. Door shut, switch closed. So that one looks good. Okay, now we're moving our test leads to the next switch, the middle switch. This one is described as being the monitor switch. So that switch is closed. Open the door. Remains closed. Closed. Open the door, remains closed. This switch is just stuck in a closed position. So that switch needs replacing. Okay, so now we've moved up to the top switch. This one is labeled primary. And we can see it's the door shut, it's closed. Door open, 153 ohms. Now this might be picking up something across. Closed with the door closed, open, 153. I wasn't able to unplug the switch, so I think I'm picking up something else, possibly that transformer. I'm going to pull out the assembly that the switches are mounted on. So there's just a couple screws here. There's one on the bottom and one here on the top. Okay, that pulls down and up. Okay, we're going to cut a couple zip ties here and give us a chance to get this a little bit further out. Okay, let's get this light bulb out of the way. These switches for some reason are extremely hard to unplug. I don't know what they've done here, crimped them or something, but they don't slide off. The spade connectors don't slide off. Okay, this upper switch here, I'm going to just spread this little clips that are holding it on. Careful not to break them. There. So here's our switch. Now this is the one that has some resistance on it. It does look like one end is connected to the transformer here. This one probably is good, but I'm going to disconnect it from the spades here and test it further. Okay, so here now I've slid the insulation back. So right in the middle of this thing there's a little wedge-shaped circular protrusion that fits in that hole and locks it in, keeps it from backing out. So what we're going to do is open up the spade connector some. We can always close it later when we get a new switch in there. We should be able to get some room to wiggle this out. There. That little hole in there makes this quite a job. Okay, so we'll do the same on this one. This switch is going to be replaced anyway. This connection appeared to have overheated. Okay, so we're testing this switch. Open. Close. Open. Close. So here's that upper switch, that primary switch, and it doesn't feel right. And it also, up against a new switch, doesn't protrude out far enough. So this is a bad switch as well. We're going to replace that one. Okay, here's our bad switch. And they've got a little piece of plastic over here and one here, and then there's a pin in here. So you can't, every which way you try to go with it, it won't go. But on top here, there's another little catch. And what I discovered you can do here is pry this up. And then you can rotate, when you get it pried up, you can rotate the switch then upward. There it goes. Now if you look at it from the other side here, okay, we can rotate it up and out. So that's how that one goes in. This is the switch that's our bad guy. It's just every which way it's closed all the time. Okay, so here's the switch that's causing the problem where the microwave runs. We've pried it out of here with a dental pick. And here's our replacement. Okay, so pry out the old switch. Again, lift up on these tangs to get this off the tang there. Now before you put it back on, get in here and kind of recrimp this. So that it'll fit nice and tight on that spade. Okay, and you get it slid on there. Put the insulator back on. We're nice and tight. Okay, this is the one that you have to rotate into place. First, put the hole in the peg there, over the peg, and then you have to push down on this little locking piece here. There. When it's in place, it'll be locked in. Okay, that's one down. Okay, here's our replacement switch. Paid about $4.50 for it. Normally open, it's in the open position. Closed. Open. Okay, so let's slide this primary switch, upper switch, back in. There's a pin that fits in this hole right here. There it is. Okay, now we're going to rotate this holder in. And there's a couple of pieces that fit into openings, and then it slides up, and then you can put the two screws back in. Let's seat the light bulb back in here. I'm going to put a piece of shrink tubing on this lower one because that one had apparently overheated. We've also steel wooled these contacts in here to make them clean and crimped them back down. So now we'll slide it on there. Alright, so now we're going to slide this lower one on until it locks into place. Okay, it has. Slide our tubing over there. If you want to, you can hit this up with a little bit of heat so it stays on there. And then the upper, and that one's in. Slide that over. It's a tight fit. Okay, I'm going to restore this back to where it was as far as zip ties go. And I'm using a video that I shot earlier. Still frame of it. Looks like there's about 3 of them in here. Okay, if you put a jumper, safety jumper, across the capacitor, as you should, remove it now.
Let's test this, giving it the jiggle test, and it's still working fine, not shutting off. Pop the door open, and it stops. Thanks for watching.